Max Strus had 7 points, Donovan Mitchell had 35 and lost. 2 minutes, 28 seconds left, Game 3. Detroit had the inbound under their own basket. Cunningham was the inbounder. Cleveland had blown a 16-point halftime lead. The series was already 0-2. The next pass was supposed to put Detroit ahead and end the night. The pass never got there. Strus jumped the lane, picked off Cunningham's cross-court read, finished the layup himself, 106-104, the 11th lead change of the night, the final one. A 7-point role player decided a series his team's star scored 35 in. This is how. The inbound is the most disrespected set piece in the NBA. 5 seconds of pass time, 5 defenders allowed to position the floor any way they want. Most coaching staffs treat the inbound like the defense is on autopilot. 3 defenders glue to assignments, 2 are supposed to read. Most teams skip the readers. Cleveland did not skip. Cleveland called Max Strus off his man. His assignment for that one possession was not a player, it was a lane, the cross-court window between Cunningham above the baseline and any Detroit shooter rotating off the weak side corner. That is a coverage call, not improvisation. You decide before the inbound which player is your reader. You decide which lane he is reading. You accept the cost. If the inbound goes anywhere else, your reader's man gets a free catch. The cost benefit is brutal arithmetic. The inbound is roughly 20% of NBA late-game scoring opportunities. Most teams converted at around 85%. Cleveland's conversion against the Pistons at 228 was 0%. Strus deflected. Cleveland scored on the other end. The line on Strus that night was 7 points, 5 rebounds, 1 steal, 27 minutes. The one steal was that steal. Cleveland called Strus off his man on Detroit's last clean possession of the game, not because Strus is a great defender, because the lane Cunningham wanted to throw into was the only lane that mattered. Strus was the only Cavalier whose job for one possession was to know that. Knowing the lane is not enough. Knowing when to leave your man is the actual read. 7 points, 35 and 10 lost. Not Mitchell missing shots. The trap that flipped Game 3 was a single coverage call on a single inbound, 3 seconds into Cunningham's 5-second count. The mechanism was the Weakside Vacate. Watch the timing. Cunningham had 5 seconds to throw the pass. He did not throw it at 1 second. He did not throw it at 2. He hesitated. He looked left. Then he looked back. Then he committed the cross-court swing to Daniss Jenkins at the weak side elbow. Strus jumped at 3 seconds in. 3 seconds is the decision frame. The first second is the primary look. The 5th second is the safety valve. The 3rd second is the only second where the inbounder has to choose. Cunningham's hesitation at 3 was the bait Strus had been hanging in the lane to set. The gap closure was 14 feet of weak side court covered in under half a second of jump time. Strus left his man uncontested on the weak side corner. He committed before the ball left Cunningham's hands. If the read was wrong, his man would have caught and shot a free 3. The read was right. Strus picked the pass off at the apex of its arc, caught the ball in transition, finished the layup, no contest, Cleveland 106, Detroit 104, the 11th lead change of the night, and the final one. A 7-point night, a 5-rebound night, a 1-steal night. The other 26 minutes built the floor presence that let Cunningham trust the lane was open. The 1 steal was the trap. The trap was the game was the series saver. So one possession decided 11 lead changes. The next question is why Cleveland needed 11 lead changes in the first place. Halftime score, Cleveland 64, Detroit 48, a 16-point Cavaliers lead. 12 minutes later, the lead was gone. Quarter 3, Detroit 33, Cleveland 19, a 14-point swing in 12 minutes of basketball. The third quarter rotation failure is what made the inbound steal the pivot point. Without that collapse, Cleveland never gives the lead back, never plays from behind in the fourth, never needs a single high-leverage defensive read at 2:28. Detroit got the 14-point swing by attacking switches off Cleveland's drop coverage, transition off Cleveland's offensive rebounds not grabbed, mismatches off rotation breakdowns. The collapse is its own episode. This one is what happened because of it. Now, the asymmetry. Donovan Mitchell scored 35 points, pulled down 10 rebounds, took every high-leverage shot Cleveland needed in the third quarter and most of the fourth. The lead vanished while he was scoring. Max Strus scored 7 points, pulled down 5 rebounds, got 1 steal. The lead came back when he made the read. A 35-10 night from the team's star produced 0 deciding plays. A 7-point night from the team's 8th man produced the only deciding play. That is not a quirk of one game. That is the structural argument for why role-player set-piece reads decide playoff games more often than star-scoring volume. The chalkboard does not care which jersey number wears the volume. It cares which jersey number was assigned the read. Mitchell's 35 was the floor, the thing that kept Cleveland in shouting distance after the third quarter collapse. Strus's 7 was the ceiling, the thing that turned shouting distance into a lead change Cleveland did not give back. The hypothesis: set-piece defense beats set-piece offense at the highest leverage moment of a Game 3 Cleveland had been losing for 40 minutes. The chalkboard story is not Donovan Mitchell's 35 points, it is Max Strus's 1 steal and the geometry that made it possible. The steal man: 11 lead changes is variance. Cunningham threw a sloppy inbound. Strus happened to be in the right spot. That is not a coverage win. That is a coin flip with a layup at the end. Stars decide playoff series, not 7th men. Mitchell decided this one. The lead changes mask it. Why the steal man fails. Cunningham's inbound was not sloppy. It was targeted. He looked Jenkins off, hesitated 3 seconds in, then swung the pass exactly where the read demanded he go. Strus was not in the right spot by accident. He was in the right spot because Cleveland's coverage call put him there. That is the difference between variance and design. Variance is the ball came to me. Design is I was instructed to vacate my man and stand in the lane the inbounder would feel forced to use. Cunningham's hesitation at 3 seconds is the receipt. An inbounder who is comfortable releases the pass at 1.5 seconds. 3 seconds is doubt. Doubt is what the reader is paid to harvest. And as for Mitchell deciding with volume, the box score says he scored 35. The film says the deciding possession had nothing to do with him. Volume is not leverage. Set-piece reads at 2:28 in a tied playoff game are leverage. The verdict comes in 3 reads. Read 1. The Weakside Vacate. Strus left his man. The cost was a possible free catch on the corner. The benefit was a reader in the only lane that mattered. Read 2. The passing lane jump. Strus waited 3 seconds into Cunningham's 5-second window. He jumped the decision frame, not the commitment frame. That is the difference between a steal and a foul. Read 3. The transition finish. 14 feet of court, no contest, layup. The set piece does not work without the conversion. 3 reads, 1 possession. A 7-point role player did the math the 35-point star never had a chance to do. Detroit still leads 2-1. Cleveland just proved the schemes can flip a series in 1 possession. The player who flipped it was not the star. Game 4 is in Cleveland, 48 hours from now. The chalkboard question is whether the inbound gamble was a 1-game wrinkle or a series-long coverage. Detroit decides whether Cunningham ever has to throw that pass again. Cleveland decides whether the reader keeps reading. Next episode of Chalk Tactics, we open the case file on the league's quietest playoff defense and ask whether what they built can survive 7 games against a star scorer. Until then.